Good day, everybody out there, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Comic Hall. I'm your host, Dylan Lang. The Comic Hall is basically my show where I show you all the new comic books that came out this week, the ones I bought anyway. This isn't even all the books that came out this week. These are the ones that I bought. Just show you artists, writers, tell you a little bit of stories, what might be something of interest for you, to get you to go to the comic book store and pick up some stuff. It's Memorial Day weekend. So a lot of places are going to have sales. My store has a 3-day sale going on right now where everything is 50% off basically. So that's not bad. And it's a good time to go out. Most people don't have to work on Monday. So you got a nice long weekend. It's going to be kind of rainy here on the East Coast again. So stay indoors and read comics or, do whatever. But it is Geek Pride Day today. May 25th is Geek Pride Day. Basically, the reason why is for May 25th night is when Star Wars came out for the first time ever. And then Return of the Jedi came out 6 years later on the same date. So, and then also DC's Rebirth, which is they're in the throes of right now, started 2 years ago on May 25th also. So huzzah to them. Sorry, it's hot as balls. I need some lemonade. Anyway, here is this week's surprisingly lengthy haul. I was looking at next week's 5th week stuff. It's going to be expensive as hell. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that I need to get. Spider-Man 800 is coming out. That's going to be $10. I'll show you a picture of the new DC Hanna-Barbera crossovers are coming out next week also. Man of Steel #1 is coming out again next week, so it's going to be expensive. Even there's not going to be a lot of stuff coming out. It's going to be a lot of expensive stuff, though. So we'll take a look at it. But first, the first thing I'm at the beginning of the summer story in The Flash, which they've been teasing for a while. Flash Wars, Part 1 starts here on Flash issue #4. 47. It goes till 50, so 47, 48, 49, 50. It's only like 4 issues long, but still, it's a big storyline. It's written by Joshua Williamson. Where is he? Always puts in the back. Joshua Williamson, writer, Howard Porter, artist. So it's good to see them coming back together. This is the big one where all the Flashes are coming together to do something Flash War-wise. So time to check it out. So definitely worthwhile. And here's what I was talking about. This is the stuff that's coming out next week, the Hanna-Barbera DC crossovers. Jabberjaw and Aquaman, Black Lightning, Hong Kong Phooey, Super Sons and Dynamite, and Kid Flash, or The Flash, and Speed Buggy. So 4 pretty good ones, all with good creative teams, so we'll see what happens. So good stories, and the Flash Wars is finally here. Part 1 of Flash Wars is up now. With a saddened heart, this is the last issue of Super Sons, #16. There has been a Super Sons 12 issue, I think, maxi series, but it's going to be a prelude because of Bendis screwing up with Superman's origins and crap. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm really not excited about that. The 2 stories I've read of his so far has not gotten me excited for his run on Superman. So we'll see. I'll pick up Man of Steel and see if it's any better. I'm just not feeling it. But Super Sons was fantastic. Great cover by Jorge Jimenez. Love the series, written by Peter Tomasi. The art in this one is Carlo Barberi, Brent Peoples, and Art Thibbert and Scott Hanna did the inks. I love this series. It's fantastic, and I wish it would keep on going. But unfortunately, they have to bow to Herr Bendis, and I'm a little peeved about that. As I said, I haven't been enjoying his 2 stories I've read so far. So we'll see. But they are coming back in a maxi series. I believe it's only going to be 12 issues, I think, and it's going to take place before all the Superman stuff. So we'll see what happens. But it's just a good book. It's 16 issues. If you can find all of them, I recommend picking it up. It's fantastic, and it's great. Next up, we have Detective Comics #981. This ends James Tynion IV's run on Detective Comics. He's been on it since Rebirth, as I mentioned, was 2 years ago today. Came out 2 years ago today. And this is the end of James Tynion's run. So he's done two. So let's see, he's done 2 a month, so he's done 24 issues. So basically, he's done about 48 to 50 issues of his Detective Comics run, and this is the last issue of it. Eddie Burrows, who was the guy who came on when Rebirth happened, does the artwork for this final issue with James Tynion IV, and Eber Ferreira does the inks. This wraps up the whole Batman family storyline that has been permeating through here, and is going to pave the way for the new detective team, which is going to have a lot to do with Black Lightning. And it's also fun to see that Katie Kane is related to Bruce. I think they're cousins or something like that. And in this scene right here, he's talking about how he wants to be more familial with him getting married and stuff like to Catwoman. It'd be nice to have some family around. Batwoman's series is coming to an end also, so I don't know where we're going to see her. But we get a wrap-up of some things, and we'll get a new creative team on here. I don't know. I might buy the first issue, but I don't know if I'm going to stick with it. We'll see, because I got to start cutting back. And if this is no longer James Tynion's book, no matter how good the other art writer is, I might have to skip it. It's going to bring back Black Lightning into a more prominent role, which makes sense since he's got the TV show out and Detective. So we'll see. But until now, that's it for that. I believe this is the final, the final story arc for Hope Larson and Mimi Q. Really cool. Mimi Q. Jung pencils, Jose Marzan Jr. inks. I think this is the last Batgirl series story with them. I don't know. I think the book is continuing, and I don't know who the new creative team is on it. I could be wrong, and maybe this is just the end of a story arc, but the way it ended, I'll show you the end page in a second. Much like Detective is like that, this is the end of an era type of thing. Sort of similar to Batman flying away, so it was almost like an end of an era. So I think that's the end of Hope Larson's run on Batgirl. She did almost 2 years also, so I don't know exactly for sure if that's the case. We'll see down the line. I read the first issue of this, and actually I found it intriguing, so I think I'll stick with it. No Justice, number 3. I mean, it's only a 4-issue miniseries, so the first issue was interesting. I found myself rereading the mini story in the DC United or whatever it was, Zero, that came out on Free Comic Book Day. So this one is written by Joshua Williamson, Scott Snyder, and James Tynion IV. This issue's artwork is drawn by Riley Rossum and Marcus Toe. And again, the basic premise behind this is in the aftermath of Metal, the superheroes have cracked a hole in the source wall, which was holding back a whole other galaxy, and now the Omega Titans are coming to take over and destroy the universe. And so they have to team up in new formations of the Justice League to defeat these Omega Titans. And each one was created to take on the Omega Titan, but things are not going. It includes good guys, bad guys, and so on and so forth, and it's not all entirely great. So we will see what happens. I mean, the situation is not great for the hero, so we'll see what happens. We got one more issue left of this, so that's coming out next week also. So that's another 5th week thing we're going to pick up, and that's going to be over with. And then June happens, and everything changes in June, which is fine. It's the summertime. You're going to start doing your summertime stuff. It's a good time for change. They've announced Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Corps, will be ending with issue 50. Again, I'm okay with that because it's another book I don't have to pay for. It's been good, don't get me wrong, because I like the Green Lantern Corps, but again, there's just so many books out there, and I'm just tossing a lot of money that this is another one I can just go, okay, it's fine. And the fact is, unfortunately, I think I might have to drop Green Lanterns also, because now they're going to throw Hal Jordan in there. I really don't want to see Hal Jordan in the Green Lanterns book. I want to keep it as Jessica and the other guy whose name I can't remember right now. But this one is written by Robert Venditti with art by Ethan Van Sciver. I like this because the Dark Stars are back, and it's pretty cool. Here's a book I'm going to probably pick up. It's a mini-series. Plastic Man's coming up in June. I can't wait for that. Hawkman, we'll see if I'm interested in that. We'll see. I don't know. Yeah, good stuff. For Ethan Van Sciver. no matter what you might believe about his politics and stuff like that, his artwork is still pretty nice. And he's always good with Green Lantern. So there's that, and we've got 46, 47, 48, 49, 55 more issues left of Green Lantern before that ends. Now, to make room for all these, they're canceling all stuff, but they're introducing new comics from Metal. This one is Terrifics #4. These new comics, there's really nothing that's really grabbing me and keeping. Silencer's pretty good. We'll talk about in a second. But this is the Terrifics #4, written by Jeff Lemire with art by Doc Shaner. It's basically DC's version of the Fantastic Four, except they're not a family, but they're sort of stuck together. This one's okay. It's Jeff Lemire, but again, I'll probably keep getting it until I get to the point where I really need to start cutting back on stuff. And if I see something else, we'll see. But there's that one. Silencer I've liked a lot. We've got a new artist. I think Patrick Zurcher's coming on to this later, but right now we have Victor Bogdanovich doing art and Dan Abnett doing the writing. This has actually been a really good book. I've liked Silencer a lot. So I'm probably going to keep reading this one because I've enjoyed it. Of all of them, I think this is probably my favorite as of now. I haven't read all of them. The new challengers are still waiting for me. Immortal Men, even though that doesn't seem too exciting. Steve Orlando's book still hasn't come out yet, which is coming up soon. So I might pick that up. That might be entertaining. So we'll see. So this is Silencer. And I think Patrick Zurcher comes on next month as the new artist, or in 2 weeks or whenever next issue hits. Mara #4, continuing the 6-issue miniseries featuring Mara, written by Dan Abnett, with art by Lan Medina and inks by Norm Ratmud. So if you're a Mara fan, like my friend Jessica is, and she's loving this series, definitely check it out. I haven't read it yet, but it's always good to see Mara. I've always liked Mara, and it's good to see her get a chance to spread her wings without Aquaman being around. So that's good. And maybe if it sells well enough, it could be a regular series coming our way from Mara. So we'll see. That's it for the regular DC universe. Young Animal, which is on life support right now. Mother Panic is still one of the best books that I love. This is Mother Panic, Gotham AD number 3, excuse me. Written by Hope Larson with art by Mustafa. Ibrahim Mustafa. I love the character. I love the story. It's fascinating. Artwork is really nice, so I'm going to keep buying this as they keep releasing it because I like it. There's also a small little backup story in this one as well. Small, it's only a couple pages, but it gets a little bit of, it's Jody Hauser and Paulina Goncho. It's got the version of Harley and Poison Ivy in this one, in this world. And it looks good. I mean, I haven't read it yet, but the backup story looks really, really interesting. So check that out. That's it for DC. I tease this. If you click on the video in my description, I tease this and that. So I'm going to tease it here. Black Panther is still one of the hottest characters out there. His movie was gangbusters and was making all the money till Infinity War came in. He was in that as well. So you got to give him props for that. But Black Panther, the comic, has been going through kind of renaissance anyway. But because Marvel always likes to restart things, they restarted Black Panther again. But this time, Black Panther #1 focuses on the intergalactic empire of Wakanda. So this is a new take on Black Panther, a intergalactic version of Wakanda, and we're going to find out how all this came about. Interesting. Tanisha Coates continues writing Black Panther with art by Daniel Kuna. So I don't know. I had to pick it up. It's Black Panther, and he's in outer space, and it's intergalactic empire of Wakanda. So I don't know what's going on with that, and a lot of people don't know what's going on with that, so you got to read this series to find out. So this might be a perfect one. If you like the Black Panther movie, you might want to pick this up and check it out. They're starting to focus a little bit more on keeping up with what was said in the movies, and keeping that up. So looks like you've got Shuri and Buku and Black Panther. So we'll see. But Black Panther #1. So hey, this might be a good reason for you to go to your local comic book store and pick this up. Deadpool 2, the movie, came out last Friday. Did okay. Still out in the movie theaters now. So if you want to go to a comic book store and see what's going on with Deadpool, you might want to check out this. You Are Deadpool #4. It's a ingenious comic. There's one more issue left in this miniseries. It's basically a choose your own adventure comic. That's what drew me in. I'm not a big fan of Deadpool, but the fact is that it is a choose your own adventure story. I had to go with it. It's written by Al Ewing, with art by Paco Diaz. So it's a choose your own adventure. Every panel has a number on it, and it'll tell you where to go if you choose that. So like this one, you read this description, and you get number 2, blah, blah, blah. You read that, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it says right here, go to 13 to start the quest for the magic code, and remember, don't keep reading in the correct order. So then you go to 13, and then I say I'm an Avenger, you go to 28. You say I'm a Thunderbolt, you go to 52. You look behind you, a 3-headed monkey, you go to 58. So then you have to look through here. 6, 58. There, you go right there, and then you follow this stuff here. So it's an interesting take on it and definitely worthwhile. It's a weekly also, so one more issue of this. So this will be out and over with next week also. But you can get the other 3 probably right now if you want to get that thing and do a little choose your own adventure Deadpool. So if you like the movie, that's perfect for you. So that's it for Marvel. Independence. I love this cover. Skyward #2. Written by Joe Henderson with art by Lee Garbett. Just a whole thing about people who can control gravity, and it's a nice looking book. I haven't read the first issue yet, but it's nice artwork and good story, and so on and so forth. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to probably continue to keep getting this because it looks good. Next up, we have Shadow Man #3. My favorite Valiant character is continuing his book written by Andy Diggle with art by Steven Segovia and Adam Polina. I've always loved Shadow Man. This new iteration is okay. Not like the one I like, but I also was a huge fan of Bob Hall, who was the writer-artist on the original Shadow Man back in the 90s. So, but Shadow Man, so we will continue with Shadow Man. Legendary Red Sonja. I was going to drop this, but it's a 5-issue miniseries. I got one more issue to go. It's Red Sonja. I'm a guy. I like sexy women in chainmail. It's written by Mark Andreyko with art by Rodney Buscemi. But you got to love sexy Red Sonja and hot chicks, big boobies. I'm a guy. I admit it. It's up my alley. And, it's got a steampunk vibe to it. It's a different take on Red Sonja, so you got that also. One more issue to go, and then we'll be all right with that. Elsewhere, #7. Almost didn't buy this, but I'm a history guy, and I like the idea of Amelia Earhart and D.B. Cooper working together on an alien world. It's written by, and plus Jay Faber's always been pretty good. Jay Faber's writer. Sumeye Keskin is the artist. It's a nice looking art, and it's a fun book. And again, I'm a history guy, and it's fun seeing Amelia Earhart and D.B. Cooper working together. So, which is kind of funny. Speaking of history, Manifest Destiny, another great historical comic, #35, is continuing. Chris Dinges, Matthew Roberts, Tony Akins continue their run on the book. They have not stopped. They have not had any fill-ins because this is their baby. Great premise on this one, a alternate history where Lewis and Clark expedition into out west. Actually, we learn there was lots of supernatural beings and strange things out there that we never knew about and that are not around now. but it's just a great premise because it's like going into the unknown, because at that time they didn't know what was out west, going into the unknown, and then actually having to come upon something that's been living in that area for centuries, and it's brand new to you. Aftershock continues to amaze with the last 3 books of my independents are all Aftershocks. Brothers Dracul #2 by Cullen Bunn and Mirko Kolak, taking a look at Dracula's family in a graphic and horrible, gory type of way, but it's a different take, and Cullen Bunn can do really no wrong a lot of the time, and Aftershock is a great company. Her Infernal Descent, another great story idea, #2. Basically, an old lady is going through the 9 rings of hell to get her family back. It's written by Lonnie Nadler and Zach Thompson with art by Kyle Charles. It's a bizarre, weird take on the afterlife, and you got to love that. It's a unique story idea, which also goes to prove that comics are not all about superheroes and stuff like that. You got the Brothers Dracul, that's horror. You got in Her Infernal Descent, which is sort of philosophical hell storyline. And then you got Animosity #14 about animals that learned how to talk and have taken over the earth. And now humans are the hunted species. Marguerite Bennett continues her fantastic run on the series. Her creations, her baby, so she's going to continue writing it with art by Rafael de la Torre. And we get some good storylines, and interesting one coming up with this one. And again, Aftershock can really do no harm and no foul. It is great. It is fantastic. And that is the comic call for this week. So some good stuff out this week. Again, it's Memorial Day weekend. Go check out your local comic book store. A lot of places are going to have special sales going on. As I said, my store's got 50% off of everything for the next 3 days, including today. So well worth the visit to that. That's just my store, but your store might be doing something different, but still check it out. As I showed you, got a new Black Panther #1, Deadpool, No Justice, Flash Wars is starting, all kinds of great stuff. So definitely go to your local comic book store, take a look around, just see what's going on, what might catch your eye. You might not know. And as I said, that's just a small portion of the books that came out this week. Obviously, I had 2 Marvels on it. All the X-Men stuff, they're still out there now too, and stuff like that. So go check it out. Other than that, you have a pleasant Memorial Day weekend. Next week is 5th week. As I told you at the beginning of the show, it is going to be expensive, but it should be really interesting. There's a couple annuals coming out. The next wave of DC Hanna-Barbera books is coming out, and we got the list of the next DC. I guess they're also Hanna-Barbera characters that are coming after this one in the next 5 weeks month, which I don't know what that one actually is. We've got Spider-Man 800, which is $10. That's going to be a little bit of a dent in my wallet, but it's Spider-Man 800, so I got to pick that up. Man of Steel #1, as I said, I haven't been a big fan of Bendis's 2 stories I've read so far, and I'm not feeling it. I'll have to, hopefully maybe Man of Steel will change my mind, but I'm not sure if I'm going to like it or not. So we'll see about that. No Justice is ending. You Are Deadpool is ending. Anything else exciting I can think of off the top of my head, because I saw a list of what's coming out. That's just some of the stuff. I can't remember what else is coming out. Oh, some of the horror Archies are coming out. Jughead the Hunger and the 2nd episode of Vampironica is coming out. So I'm probably not going to get the Jughead one, but Vampironica #2 is probably going to be on my list. We'll see. If I wasn't going to buy all these other stuff, it was going to be a no-brainer to do that. So on that note, thank you for watching. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Go to a local comic book store sometime this weekend just to pick up some comics or books or T-shirts or gaming stuff or whatever you want to go to your local comic book store. You don't know where your local comic book store is? Go check your search engine, type in Comic Shop Locator Service, or the CSLS. Should be one of the first ones that pop up on your search engine. When it does, click on it, go to the website. When you get to the website, type in your zip code, hit enter. It'll give you a list of every comic book store within your area within a 20-mile radius. So knock yourself out with that, and then you go to those websites, you can check their websites and so on and so forth. I did that because I was just goofing around and checking about up on Boise, Idaho. They've got like 3 big ones, so we'll see what happens. Happy Memorial Day. Go to a comic book store. There's some interesting stuff this week. There's going to be some interesting stuff next week. And as always, we still have Infinity War still out in movie theaters. Deadpool 2's out in movie theaters. Solo's out in movie theaters. Hey, it's Geek Pride Day today, May 25th, 2018, which is when I'm filming this. And watch it this weekend. Go to a comic book store. Geeks rule. Bye now. Oh, and my Dylan Knows show will be on sometime this weekend. Keep an eye out for that.